Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin-yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Wednesday, January 4th, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 2023. 2024 is the last total solar eclipse to cross the United States for 2 more decades. We're going to tell you when and where to see it at the end of the show, so stay tuned. But the big story: it is the best start in 40 years for the Sierra Snowpack. Keep calm. It's boom time. No joke, Sierra Snowpack looking good. Surveyors with the Department of Water Resources say that while the active weather in December and January is promising for the long-term drought, more precipitation is still needed. With Colorado's mountains getting over 5 feet of snow this week, it's looking pretty good. Right here in my neck of the woods, 44 inches at Wolf Creek. Down the road about an hour in Purgatory, 66 inches of the global warming goodness. Tahoe storm warning, 2+ feet possible by Friday, and still more coming. And no one is bumming. Shut up, Al! Except Al, who's now currently in his hole. Next weather alert, more than 12 inches measured at the MSP airport since the storm began. And we're talking Minneapolis, St. Paul. They got covered in the global warming goodness as well. In fact, a snowfall boom, according to the article. A foot of snow now in much of the Twin Cities. So heavy, widespread snow downtown. Talk about a snowfall bonanza. Bomb cyclone to dump inches of rain on Southern California. Evacuation warnings are issued. And this is coming. And here are the words from the mayor.
And so we are asking the public to just limit a number of things, limit unnecessary travel.
San Francisco's mayor urging people to limit travel following a tough week of storms as well as flooding. And unfortunately, more storms are going to be on the way. Let's take a live look at San Francisco Bay. This is going to be one of the major cities out west that is going to be getting hit by a bomb cyclone this week. We got heavy rain. We got strong winds as well.
Bomb cyclone incoming.
Associated with this. So let's talk about what's going to be happening here. I mean, look how massive this first system is going to be here. Where you are seeing is some of the purples. That is all of the moisture that is associated with this. And this is going to be slamming into the Pacific coast here. And as this happens, not only are you going to see increasing amounts of cloud cover, but also you're going to see the winds picking up as well. San Francisco this morning, starting out with temperatures right around 50 degrees, 57 down in LA. And because of the intense rain, we do have a chance at seeing some flash flooding that is going to be popping up all up and down the Pacific coastline of California. So places like Fort Bragg, as well as even those of you in Monterey and San Francisco, all could end up seeing some flash flooding because of this. So as we go hour by hour, I want to show you what's going to be happening. Anytime you see all of that yellow popping up there on the future track, that means we're going to see some intense bands of some rain, not only for today, but also this is going to continue into Friday. We're going to get a little bit of a break here from some of the rain, but some of those higher elevations like the Sierra Nevada mountains could end up seeing some pretty heavy snow out of this. And then for tomorrow, look at that. We see the rain taper off just a little bit here, but then by Friday, here comes round 2 of some of that rain. So those of you that are going to be using that I-5 corridor, you're going to be mainly impacted by this. So I talked a little bit more about those winds.
We'll get to the snowfall totals in just a moment, but it's lining up to be a pretty heavy storm as we roll into the weekend. And here we have some golf ball size hail in Natchez. In fact, there were 10,000 reports of hail just yesterday across the U.S. in the winter, which is very rare. So clearly we can see here our weather systems breaking down in a severe way. Let's see what he has to say.
Lost parts of their homes, cars damaged. You can just see all of the damage here, but the people telling us, even though they lost parts of their homes, cars damaged, they're just so thankful to hear that, at least at this point, they're hearing everyone is accounted for. All of their neighbors have made it through the storm okay, which is pretty remarkable when we look at the damage. As you said, the storms, at least in this part of Louisiana, finally clearing out. Things much cooler this morning, but dry, helping with the cleanup. And just a short time ago, we spoke with the Moffitt family right down the road from where we are. They tell us that they got the tornado warning alert on the AccuWeather app last night. They got the kids, they ran to the bathroom, got their daughter in the tub, and within a minute or so, that's when the tornado hit. and they say they're so grateful for the alerts that worked last night and getting that advance notice. Now, our team was broadcasting and streaming live last night around 5 Central Time, warning people about the danger in this community with that tornado warning. And this new drone video shows.
So we did have severe weather plaguing the South, but that has now moved on, thankfully. At least 5 people injured in Monday's storms across the South as strong winds and heavy rain pummeled the region. And here's the forecast. As we move into the weekend, major storm arrives in California, lingering hazards in the southeast and upper Mississippi Valley. A major storm and atmospheric river is poised to impact California today and Thursday with heavy to excessive rainfall, flooding with debris flows and landslides near recent burn scar areas, heavy mountain snow, and high winds. Meanwhile, the recent multi-hazard storm will gradually weaken, but the heavy snow will persist in the upper Mississippi Valley, and severe storms may roll through the southeast like a beast. Here is the snowfall analysis for the last 72 hours. You can see where that heavy snow fell in the northern mountains here of Colorado, northern Utah, most of Wyoming picking up considerable totals, 18 or more in some areas, and then Nebraska, southern South Dakota, and Minnesota picking up the brunt of that winter storm that just moved through. Here's the west side, Snowtell, that we started the podcast on. It is looking fantastic. The entire west, above average in almost every drainage basin, except just a few. Here, there's one basin up here in Wyoming, in the southeast, and just a few basins in New Mexico. The rest over 100% average. Some areas in Oregon at 500%. It is looking like a banner snow year, and more snow is on tap. Take a look. Here is your Thursday through your Friday snow forecast. Up to 4 feet of snow by Friday in the Sierras, with moderate to heavy snow in much of the Rocky Mountains and the Cascades. And you can see there that snow, that system that's in the plains is going to move to the east, bringing a little snow to the northeast, as well as the second system hitting the northeast. More snow for the west. It is looking like a wonderful season. Take a look at the long-term forecast here. It literally Iowa gets buried in 1, 2, 3 events. So heads up, Iowa. It could be getting deep over there. Magnitude 4.0 earthquake shakes Hawaii, but there are no seismic swarms currently going on, and the seismic update worldwide is quite low. That large earthquake that was supposed to happen in California never developed. Wasn't my prediction. Mid-ocean ridge at the Rekiana is still an ongoing event there, as, well, the mid-ocean ridges are rocking. Worldwide volcano news update. No volcanoes of note. We do have Cotopaxi puffing and passing to 23,000, Savankai to 24. Krakatoa, Shivalush, Sangay. Krakatoa with little puffs to 3,000. Nothing of note. As we head over to space weather, had a small geomagnetic storm in the last 24 hours, just touching KP5 for 3 hours, KP 4.5 for another 3. Minor event from a minor passing CME that we had modeled about a week ago. We are still waiting for this coronal hole stream to perhaps couple and accentuate that, but telemetry is falling off a cliff as we are waiting for the source of the huge blasts off the backside to reveal itself. And we can just see on the latest HMI intensity a little bit of that sunspot right there peeking around the corner right there. So by tomorrow we'll have a better look at it. But it may have shot off another C flare here. I don't know where that's coming from currently. A little too recent. But take a look at this. More propaganda. Paul Ehrlich, of all people, who predicted that mass starvation would wipe out humanity in the 1970s and was completely wrong, is back at it and is on 60 Minutes. Humanity is not sustainable. Once again, the discredited population bomb author, Paul Ehrlich, is back fear-mongering once again. Completely insane that they have this guy on. He explained that humanity is not sustainable. To maintain our lifestyle, yours and mine, for the entire planet, you'd need 5 more Earths. So he is another eugenicist. He predicted that population would collapse in a widespread famine in the 1970s. And, well, This 50 years later, and we're still waiting for that. Now, don't miss 2 conjunctions and winter stars and a comet. Oh my. What do we have? We have Comet C2022 E3 ZTF. It hasn't been seen since 50,000 years ago when the Neanderthals were still alive on Earth, but it will be observable with binoculars all month or a small telescope in the pre-dawn sky in the northern hemisphere for observers. All month, January sky is filled with bright stars and constellations like Orion, Taurus, and Gemini, as well as the Big Dipper, so go out and look up. On the 18th to the 24th, you can watch Venus cross paths with Saturn over several days after sunset. January 6th, coming up in just 2 days, is the full moon, followed by the new moon on January 21st. Now to the 2024 total solar eclipse, the last solar eclipse to cross the U.S. until 2045. So if you're an old-timer, this may be your last chance to see a total solar eclipse in the U.S., and you need to get out there and look up. April 8th, 2024. Now, there is a pregame show, the annular solar eclipse that's going to be passing by the Four Corners region right through my neck of the woods, October 14th of this year. Following the October 14th annular eclipse, we're going to have the total solar eclipse moving through totality in this strip right here on April 8th of 2024. Might have to drive out to Arkansas or maybe even Texas, the nexus of the schmexus, to take a look. That would be the closest place to go grab it. Maybe bring ransom. So I'll leave you links to all the articles so you can start to make your plans for viewing the next 2 solar eclipses in the U.S. and the final total solar eclipse for the next 2 decades. Holy macaroni. Hey, come check out our new live stream we put up on Magnetic Reversal News last night about unprecedented study. Uh-oh. What happened? An unprecedented study confirming massive scale lowland Mayan civilization. It goes with our previous podcasts, and you can watch both of them together in less than an hour, which reveals most of the LIDAR studies that have been occurring in the jungles in Mexico, Guatemala, Bolivia, and has been revealing millions, if not tens of millions, of people have gone missing in just the last few thousand years. Literally mind-blowing. What else is mind-blowing is the failure of our government and the corruption indeed. They can't even pick a new Speaker of the House. And, well, this is unprecedented. It has never gone this long in over 100 years. And I believe the Republic is dead. And that's a boom to knowledge. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. I hope you're doing everything you need to do to survive and thrive in the coming times, becoming more self-reliant, stockpiling food perhaps, creating a bug-out plan or a long-term plan to move to a more rural area. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share this with like-minded people. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do. We love you. Be safe.